Hello, welcome to Crochet and Mental Health. I have a story that's probably very similar to your story. I was having a very difficult time, and crochet came along and literally saved my life. I want to share a little bit about that with you, and then I want to take you on a little journey and hopefully use crochet, which is already quite a therapy tool for you and for me, and get a little bit deeper. It's a new year, it's a new me, it's a new you. And if you want to, come along with me and take a chance on crochet that you already know is such a powerful tool for you. My story is that back in, I don't know, in the 20 teens, I've shared this on my channel before, I had an issue that really came up from, first I had gastric bypass in 04, to obviously to lose weight and to become healthier. And part of the issue of why I got to be so overweight at the time was because food was my comforter. It was my unhealthy way of self-soothing, was to eat. And so I figured, okay, so let's make it more difficult to eat. And it worked. It worked. I lost 100 pounds. I'm so grateful. I would not go back and change it for the world. However, the sick part in me was still sick. And so because I couldn't eat, and you can't undo it, I decided to drink to self-soothe. And I was unlucky enough to be one of those people who, after surgery, after that gastric bypass, was able to, couldn't tolerate any other sugar, but the sugars and alcohol didn't bother me. And probably because it was numbing me on the inside at the same time. So my body was like, oh, didn't care. So I changed out my addiction through the help of very loving family, my father, my mom, my sisters, my daughter. They were very, very supportive, and I got the help that I needed. They had to put me in a hospital because I wasn't gonna be long for this world. It was the pain had become too much because, as you know, alcohol is a depressant. And when you're depressed, it's not a really smart thing to try to self-soothe yourself with a depressant. So it's a horrible, horrible, horrible downward spiral. And I went down that spiral. And they helped me get help. And so I started into the program, and which was wonderful. And yes, it saved my life. However, I needed a little bit more than that, because part of the brokenness inside of me was some social anxiety, some self-doubt, well, more than self-doubt, self-loathing by that point. And it was really, really difficult for me to get out of the house by that time. And so going to these meetings in the program was daunting, to say the least. And through this time of in and out and in and out of the program, I found crochet. Specifically, I found Crystal. And she has such a soothing way about her and a comforting way about her that I could learn from her without being judged, without being challenged, just a nice, soothing way. And I think she is on this earth to do that for me and for you and for so many of us. And I don't know that she will accept that much, but it's true. Anyway, that's a bag a day, if you didn't already know. So in going to these meetings, I needed some way to survive it, because I thought it would kill me. The social anxiety, people I didn't know, admitting these awful things about myself. I already hated myself. I didn't want anybody looking at me. I needed something else. And that something else was crochet. I needed to do something with my hands. I needed to do something with the thoughts that were racing in my head. I needed to do something that I could envelop myself in that didn't harm me, that actually made me feel like I was doing something constructive for the first time in years. And so I would have projects that I started doing because of Crystal and others, that I would start working on really simple little things, a scarf here, a cowl there, ooh, the hat, but it starts off with just rows and rows so that I could get a single or double, either a 1 row or 2 row repeat going in a rhythm. And I can sit in the movies. I could sit in the meeting back against the wall, so nobody's behind me, I'm not distracting anybody behind me, and sit, and I don't have to look at anybody because I have a reason to look down. Nobody has to wonder, why is she looking down all the time? Oh, she's crocheting. Or they're probably thinking, oh, she's knitting. Whatever. So it gave me something. And I would take projects that I really, really enjoyed working on and put them aside, put the whip bag aside, and that's what I would take only to the meetings. And I could only work on it there. So there was something that was beneficial to me. And then I became known as Kris who crochets. And that's cool. And they would be interested in talking to me about my crochet. So I got to reach out and talk to people who were interested in my crochet. And I could actually make some social connections in a way that I would never have been able to. Yes, eventually I came out of that. I still enjoy crocheting when I go to a meeting here and there, but I don't need it. But at the time, I needed it. I don't know that I would have been able to continue to go to have the program stick without it. And now with my recurring and my entering and exiting depression, anxiety, which it's life. It's a part of life. I know you know what I mean. There are times when I really need to sit down and work on a project and feel like I've accomplished something. And if I need to go around people, I can take my crochet with me. It's my shield, it's my armor, and I can do things that I would never do without having crochet. I think I do a pretty decent job. And so it's kind of nice for people to kind of, oh, what is that? That's so pretty. It's the yarn that's pretty, right? The yarn is beautiful. But it helps me to do things that I wouldn't do. For a while there, I would even to parties, like a dinner or something, or hanging out with my friend, I'd have to have my crochet with me, but it got me out of the house and I could go do things and I could have a reason to sit back and just crochet and put my head down if things got to be too much. And I could make the world a little bit smaller. And it's something that I'm doing, and it's something that gives me pleasure back. There's a lot to that self-soothing. There's the color, there's the feel of the yarn, the sensation of the yarn in your hands. There's the sound, the rhythm of the hook in the yarn and in the project. I don't know if you guys do that. I love the rhythm. So there's a lot to it, and I'm sure you have your own thing that soothes you about crochet. Having been at rock bottom and crochet being there for me, and the program being there for me, I learned through the support of others in a support group, which is very, very important, that I was no good to anyone else broken. As much as I thought I needed to do and do and do for others, it got to the point where I couldn't do anything for anyone else. Even when I could, looking back, I should have stopped and taken care of myself a lot sooner. But I didn't. And so that's where it led me. So I learned that I was no good to anybody else in the state that I was in. And if I wanted to be there for others, if that's so important to be there for others, for my daughter, now for my granddaughters, if I want to be there for them, I got to be there for me so that there is a me to give. I want to put in a disclaimer. I am not an individual therapist. I am not a psychotherapist. I'm not a psychologist, certainly not a psychiatrist. But I do have some history, some background in mental health. I do have a degree in music therapy, which is a dual major in music and psychology, and I worked at a psychiatric hospital, and I worked in a rehab center. I've done some things with people with group therapy, using psychology, using music as a mode of communication in therapy. And so music was my jam for a while. It was my jam for a long while. As I got older, things changed. And then because of my degree in psychology, I went on to teaching. I've been teaching psychology in high school for the past almost 20 years in psychology. I've been teaching for more than 20 years. Started off with advanced placement, and now I am in Bangkok teaching A levels here at an international school. So that's fun. So I do know a little bit about psychology. I do know just enough to get myself in trouble sometimes. But I do keep up with the research because I'm teaching it. I do, so I have some education there. And I also have my history. And that's really what I'm pulling from, is my history. Maybe pulling some research from some tried and true research, and some of the newer research about crochet, about mental health, about self-soothing, about color theory, about quiet time, about meditation, things like that. So where I'd like to start on our little journey is this book, Hook to Heal. Now, this is a fantastic book. I learned about it through a podcaster that mentioned it, but she hadn't really spent any time in it yet. So if you're one of those and you already have the book, find it, dust it off. We'll do it together. We're not going to do the entire book because that would take forever, and we're not going to do that. But I'm going to present it in chapter form. So like each week or so, we'll be doing a chapter, and there are 6 to 12 activities in each of the chapters, but we'll only be focusing on one, maybe two if they go together. But the chapters are this: mindfulness crochet, letting go, releasing, relaxing, self-care and self-esteem building, embrace a sense of adventure, facing fears, creating abundance, relationships and connecting, giving back, balance, and artistic development. So, and they go in that order. You don't have to go in that order. I'll be going in that order, but you can drop in anytime you'd like and see what we're up to. The author's name is Kathryn Vercillo. 100 crochet exercises for health, growth, connection, inspiration, and honoring your inner artist. So I did contact the author, and she is happy for us to be using it. I'll link in the description box below a link to Amazon to where you can get the book if you'd like. And also she gave me a link to her website if you want to order directly from her and see what she's up to these days. And I'll go more into that at another time about what she's doing now. So what I want to say is, come with me on this journey. I think that you'll be happy that you do. I'm really excited to share it with you because I'm going on the journey too. And this is a new year. This is a new me. It's a new you if you want to join me. Regardless, I'm doing it. So stop in if you'd like and hang out if you'd like. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. If you wanna hang out, no commitment. Just stop in and out. If it gets too much, you can say bye, or you can come back at another time. They'll be out here on YouTube. You can stop in whenever you want. In this new year, what I hope for you, what I pray for you, is some calm, some peace and some grace and some self-love, some self-worth. And if that's something that you think you could maybe do with a little bit more of, I know I can. Come with me. Come with me. Just try it. Nobody's going to see what you're doing. Just try it. So take care of yourself. You are worth it. And if you want to be there for those you love and who love you, yes, they love you and they want you to be happy and whole. If you want to be there for them, you got to be there for you first. So I'm here. Let's be there for each other and see where it takes us. I'll be doing it about once a week. So look for the videos. And if you're not already, please subscribe. If you haven't already, please hit that notification bell, and so that you can see when I put out another one of these videos. So this will be on top of like my whips and FOs and podcasts or tutorials or whatever I decide to get up to this year. So I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for stopping by. I love you.